linking words, essentially the glue that allows us to connect various ideas, phrases, sentences. They might even contradict each other, and with the help of these words, we can focus the attention to that contrast, further develop an idea, and so on and so forth. The obvious ones and, but, if, or can usually fulfill that purpose by themselves. However, making sure that I have a large reserve of various substitutes to use in formal writing, the CAE essay to be specific, and even when I'm writing my own story, despite those basic words being sufficient to convey the idea, I do want to be able to go somewhat past that, especially because of my other obsession of always trying to avoid repeating the same terms in one particular block of my writing. Doesn't even have to be a paragraph, and knowing and being able to use these terms and phrases is quite essential if I do want to somehow escape the curse of simple sentences. There is not much to truly understand. Their application is pretty much self-explanatory. Some might be a little bit tricky, such as subsequently and consequently, whereas or whether. In spite of these few examples, it is not a difficult tool of the English language to comprehend. Therefore, I am not going to spend too much time on it. It is, though, closely related to another topic for a future video, function words, which is an important section of the CAE test, and one that is rather easily neglected, which can have some rather unfortunate results for the attemptee, such as myself. In short, I need to read even more while paying special attention to words that I would usually just gloss over. Enough of English. I would like to lightly poke one of my regulars, the fact that I would love to create a story that is truly uninspired by anyone else other than my imagination. Something that comes with so many problems, issues, hidden snares. One of them being the fact that everything new, everything different has to be explained in an organic manner, which is quite terrifying. The requirements, the pressure that applies on my imagination and my writing skills, my mastery over the English language. Despite all that, though, it still makes more sense to me to at least try to achieve that than simply having everything the same as it is in our real world, bar a few oddities such as dragons, some pathetically explained concept of magic, or maybe even a different race, whether that be elves or dwarves, with the exact same traits the humans have, but then have a world that still somehow has horses, the exact same mentality as our real world, same gestures, nodding, pointing, smiling even, nodding for affirmation, shrugging someone's shoulders, all that having the exact same meaning as it has in my reality. simply because the alternative is to make everything up from scratch, and that is scary. In contrast to these difficulties, it is still the preferable choice for me, as I simply do not believe that cows have any place in any one of my settings. And I will follow up on this with some more examples in the next video, because now it is time to return to the rapid arrows and their last attempt at catching the agents behind the mystery surrounding the ruins. Last time they had to come back with merely some hints and vague feelings, so this time they are equipped with a plan. As the early bird gets the worm, they arrive much earlier, intent on hiding themselves in one of the best spots from where they can see the exact location of the previous night's fire. They do find a room with a window in the general direction of that place. Indra just takes note of how cold it is inside, and then there is nothing else to do other than wait. They pass the time by playing some games. It looks like chess. The details are not entirely there. And while Yarka and Yindra are in the midst of a match, Redcap, who is on the guard duty, observing the point of interest, alerts everyone as he has heard footsteps, and when the rest of the club gathers around the window, we can see two people around the hole next to the fire. Well, there is none now, for we can hear them talk that they had made a decision before coming here tonight to no longer make a full-on fire and instead just bring some flashlights. That likely due to the scare from the rapid arrows. The other one remarks that it is always such a waste of time to hide the results of their work as they dig and then cover up the hole after every shift. Meanwhile, our heroes are rushing down, hoping to catch up with these two boys, maybe get an explanation for their activities. Mirek reminds everyone not to spook them. To add some context, according to my internet research, it is considered more formal to use the not to phrasing to avoid splitting the infinitive, and it is considered more formal, although, as in everything, English wise, there are examples of to not being the more correct or slightly less wrong choice option. Anyway, wanted to mention this. Also, will most likely do an entire video on the problematic of with and by. Already did that once. Well, that is of no concern right now. The rapid arrows arrive at the dig site, and as Speed is asking the little dwarves or gnomes, he uses a Czech and Slovak term permoník, a little miner, which according to our folklore is a small demon who lives in mines of all sorts and kinds, protects and guards the veins and treasures, can be loosely translated or transformed into either a dwarf or a gnome, so he jokingly addresses them as such, asking what they are doing there. One of them stutters, the other one asks why should they share that with these other boys. Well, Mirek, the charismatic negotiator, while introducing the party to the two boys as the famous rapideros. He offers them their help in their excavation efforts, a proposal the two boys readily accept, introducing themselves in turn and explaining that they had found a sort of a cave-in into what appears to be a secret passage, and so they decided to try and unravel this mystery themselves and have been digging during the night to avoid the tourists who usually peruse the perimeter during the day. The result of the rapid arrows joining is a significant acceleration of the hard work, and so before long they reach a breakthrough. Well, technically not, since it is a door blocking them from continuing any further. It is quite a heavy looking barrier, so they have to first clear everything around to even attempt to open them. Besides the tiny issue of gathering enough courage to try, when it finally becomes accessible, our brave heroes wait no more and revealing the contents of that room to us readers. The astonishment is nigh palpable, as what is inside turns out to be a sepulchre or a burial chamber, possibly of some of the previous owners of this castle, the lord, as there is a helmet and a sword laid on top of the casket. And so all the boys leave the premises. They get their boats, the rapid arrows hit theirs before hiding themselves earlier today. The last step of this adventure being to decide or even find out where and how are they going to report this discovery of theirs, as it will definitely shake things up in these parts, which subsequently leads to a conclusion of this great arc of Indra's Own's invitation, the dam, the castle, the apparition, and the resolution to the final secret of the enigmatic lights. This is where I'm going to finish the video as well. The next one will bring more nonsense, more talking, possibly even some things worth saying, but we will see about that.